Alright, what's going on you guys, and welcome back to another video. And today I'm going to be answering a question that I get asked all the time, and that is, where do I buy my old iPhones from? And to be honest, there are a lot of different websites that I use to basically acquire these iPhones, and I figured why not share this information with you guys, because I know a lot of you guys are also interested in collecting iPhones as a hobby or maybe just growing your collection. And I am going to assume that most of you guys are planning to buy these phones on their original firmware. So like an iPhone 4 on iOS 4, an iPhone 5 on iOS 6, and so on. And so there's basically two different ways in which you can go about buying iPhones. The first way is to buy them locally, so using websites like Facebook Marketplace or Kijiji or Craigslist, like those type of websites where you basically message the seller and you meet up with them in person. So just keep in mind that a lot of these sellers don't actually end up updating their phones. Sometimes they bought them years ago and they just want to get rid of them for a cheap price. So you can usually bring the price down to a pretty low amount. Like this iPhone 4, I got it for $20 and it was running iOS 4, so that was a huge steal. And this person in Houston, Texas is selling a 4GB iPhone 2G and they think it's an iPod. So you guys can, find these ads. They might be a little hard to find because sometimes people don't use the right keywords in the title, but essentially if you do find these ads, message the seller, explain to them that you want to buy them, and you can usually get them for a pretty good price. So the second type of website, of course, is eBay, and this is really easy to find because you can search up whichever phone you want. You can look all over the world. I mainly only shop in the US and Canada, so I don't usually buy from international sellers in other countries. But one of the things that is really important is to use the newly listed filter. So this is going to show all the devices that were most recently posted. And by doing this, you'll be able to act much more quicker than someone else. So if you see a phone that you like, then you can buy it right away before it sells out. And another thing to also keep in mind is to message the sellers and tell them that you want to buy a specific version of this device and it needs to be on iOS, whatever the iOS version that you're looking for. And I found that a lot of sellers don't reply to this message, but sometimes they do reply, and if you explain to them why you want them to check the iOS version, they might be able to understand. So try that out. Not every seller is going to understand, but it's definitely worth trying. And if you do end up buying on eBay, just make sure you tell the seller not to update the phone, because the worst thing that could happen is buying a phone on, let's say, iOS 9 and then you get it and then it has iOS 12. That's going to be pretty annoying, so just keep that in mind. And I did want to give a few tips if you are planning on buying a brand new sealed iPhone. The unfortunate truth is that a lot of sellers do end up resealing these phones and they try to sell them at a higher price even though the phone itself has been opened up before. So you want to be careful with that, and the easiest way to check actually is by looking at the seal. So on older iPhones that have the seal going across, the actual line in the center that you see here, it should be perfectly straight. It shouldn't have any waves and it should be straight all around, and it just shouldn't look like something that Apple would never make, because usually you can tell really easily when an iPhone has been resealed. And the second thing to keep in mind is to just double check the serial number. So every device has a unique number, and you can check this on Apple's website to make sure that the phone has never been activated. And the third thing is to just cross-reference the iOS version. So there's a lot of websites out there where you can basically enter the serial number of the iPhone, and that website will tell you when the phone was manufactured. And I basically searched up the serial number. I saw that it was manufactured in April of 2017, and then I went back into Google and I searched up which iOS version came out in April of 2017. And you can usually check a lot of different websites and then you can get the exact iOS version, but the good thing here is that the phone was running iOS 10, so that's a really easy way to check that. And this one is not necessary, but it is worth trying. You can always call Apple to confirm that the serial number has never been activated, but not every single Apple employee is going to be able to provide this information. Luckily, when I called them, they did literally tell me that the phone was locked to Verizon, which I was surprised because I didn't think Apple would do that, but it's worth trying on a phone that has never been activated to really confirm that this is indeed a legit iPhone. And lastly, regardless of what iPhone you do end up buying, just make sure that it has a clean title, and always check the IMEI number before buying it to make sure that it is legit and not stolen. And also, don't forget to have fun while you're at it. It takes a lot of time and patience, and sometimes the phone that you're looking for isn't always going to appear. But the websites that work best for me are eBay, Facebook Marketplace, and Kijiji, which is basically like the Canadian version of Craigslist. But if any of you guys do end up scoring a deal on your dream classic iPhone, be sure to tweet it to me at itsiClassic on Twitter. And I hope this helps you guys. And also, I'm not sponsored by any of these companies mentioned in this video. These are just the companies that work best for me. But if anyone does have any questions, be sure to leave them in the comment section below, and I'll catch you guys on the next video.